a recording for Kath, so welcome to Kath. And everybody okay this morning? Nobody got any injuries? No, thumbs up, that's good. So let's just mute you all. And then if you want to talk to me, you know what you need to do. And we're going to start in child's pose today. So come down to your mat. And in child's, have your knees together. And if you've got a block or a book, can you place that in front of you so that your head will rest on the block, so that your forehead is resting. So I want you to keep a little bit of space from the front of your throat up to your chest. So allow your head to just rest on the block. And then as we rest down in child's, take your hands and interlace the fingers behind the back of your head so that your elbows rest down on the floor. So just see if you can just adjust yourself into this position and find some comfort. So we're just going to start off with a little breathing practice here. So allow your breath to flow in through the nose and out through the nose. So you're not putting any pressure on your neck. Just allow the elbows to rest down towards the floor. If you do find that you are pulling on your neck, then separate your fingers. Just find some comfort here. But I want you to feel that opening through the back body, from your shoulder blades, and also a little bit of an opening at the front of the chest with your hands out in that wide position. So breathing in through the nose, just visualize that breath coming into the body. You're sending it all the way down to the base of the spine. And then as you breathe out, the breath is curling up and over the body, up towards your head. So see if you can visualize this circle of breath in through the body, down the front of the body, down to your pelvis, up and over the hips, and out as it comes up the back body and over the top of the head. So the breath moving in and out in this circle of motion, sweeping down the front of the body and sweeping up the back of the body. Just visualizing the movement of that breath. Can you feel it as it travels down the front of the body? And then just gently touching your body as it travels up the back of the body. Swirling around in a circle. Just take a few more breaths like this. So our theme today is grounding, and we're also going to be doing some balancing. So grounding to settle us, and balancing to give us some strength in our bones. And we've got a few interesting balances to finish with. So on your next inhalation, just gently bring yourself up and away from the mat into an all fours position. So spread your fingers wide, have the hands underneath your shoulders, have your knees under your hips. and find that long straight spine. So your gaze is to the mat. There's a straight line from the top of your head, down your neck, down to your hips. And I want you to visualize 3 parts of your back. So the top of the back, around the shoulders, the mid back, and then down towards the belly. So as you breathe in, take a nice deep breath all the way down to the belly and breathe out. And then see if you can add in a count. So breathing in to the count of 4. Breathing out to the count of 4. Now, if you find that too long, just adjust it to your breath. So if it's 3 for you, then that's fine. Or even if it's 2, just make sure your breath is even. So you're breathing in the same amount as you're breathing out. And then maybe you want to add a pause after your inhalation. So breathing in. If you're on 4, can you pause for 2? And as you breathe out for 4, just add a little pause at the end of the exhalation for 2. Breathing in, pause, breathing out, pause. So try and let go of any tension in your body here as you're breathing. And feel how your hands feel really grounded into the mat. And your knees and lower legs feel the same, just allowing the tops of your feet to drop into the mat. Keep that breath going. In for your count, a short pause. Out for the same length, a short pause. So now as you breathe in, let go of that counting action and just send the breath to the top of the back, the mid back, the belly, and then sending it out from the belly, the mid back, the top of the back. Nice deep cleansing breaths coming all the way into the lungs, down to the base, towards the belly, the mid back, the top of the back. Rewinding, sending the breath out. So your chest should feel quite open here, and your shoulders expanding across the top of your back. Just one more, thinking about those 3 parts to your spine, top of the back, mid back, belly, and then breathing out. And then just allow your breath to settle. And then sit back onto your heels. So reaching your hands out in front of you, just rotate your wrists, easing out any tension from those wrists. Sending the wrists in a circular motion. And then send them in the opposite direction. And then we're going to activate our hands. So we're going to do something that I do with my Gentle Years yoga class. So this is 4 moves. I'm just going to show them to you. So we reach our hands out in front of us. We have a fist. We have a flash. So as we breathe out, we send our fingers away in a flash. We bring them into a claw. This is a dragon as we breathe in. And then we bring all the fingertips to our thumb. And this is a bird as we breathe out. So it's fist, flash, dragon, bird. So we're going to do it slow to start with. And then we're going to speed it up. And it's a little bit like tapping your head and rubbing your tummy. So send your hands out in front of you. Breathing in, fist. Breathing out, flash. Breathing in, dragon's claw. Breathing out, bird. So fist, flash, dragon, bird. Fist, flash, dragon, bird. Fist, flash, dragon, bird. Fist, flash, dragon, bird. Let's see if we can speed it up. Fist, flash, dragon, bird. Fist, flash, dragon, bird. Fist, flash, dragon, bird. Fist, flash, dragon, bird. You still with me? Fist, flash, dragon, bird. Fist, flash, dragon, bird. Fist, flash, dragon, bird. And release your hands. So that's a bit of fun, isn't it? And how do the hands feel? Just release through the wrists once more. Just gently easing out. Hopefully they feel a little bit more mobile. So come back to your all fours. Find your all fours position, hands underneath your shoulders. Gaze is down to the mat. We're going to do a few cat-cows, just get some movement into our spine. So as you breathe in, and then breathe out round the top of the back up to the ceiling. Have that feeling you're pressing into the mat with your hands. You're coming up into cat. Breathe in. Breathe out to move. So tilting the pelvis, leading with the chin and the chest. Squeeze those shoulder blades together. You're in cow. Breathe in. Breathe out, round the spine, coming back into cat. Pressing the mat away from you. Breathe in. Breathe out, coming into cow. So tilting the pelvis, lead with the chin and the chest. Really squeeze those shoulder blades. Breathe in. Breathe out, up into cat. Breathe in, breathe out, down into cow. Well done. Breathing in, come back to all fours. So a little bit more work on our wrists. Just send your fingers so that they point back towards your knees. So just turning the hands around, fingers pointing back towards the knees. Now, if this is too much for your wrists, then send your weight gently forward. Otherwise, bring yourself to an upright position and just test that strengthening at the front of the wrists. Keep breathing, don't tense up anywhere, and don't sink into your shoulders. You'll put more pressure on the wrists. So really open up through the back of the shoulders. And maybe you can sit your hips back towards your heels just a little bit. So as you breathe out, just gently send the hips back. Breathing in, come back to an upright position. Breathing out, just gently, just encouraging a little bit more opening into the wrists. So you can stay here, just doing that movement, or if you're feeling that your wrists are strong and they could take a little bit more. As you breathe in, take your toes into the mat. And as you breathe out, lift your knees into a down dog position. Don't send your hips back too far. Your arms are almost in an upright. Just take a few breaths here. And then release your knees down to the mat. Release your hands, one and the other. Sit back onto your knees, onto your hips. And just rotate your wrists once more. Easing out. And just observing, how do they feel? Maybe a little bit more flexible. Okay, so we're going to come into our seated position now, ready for Baddha Konasana. So if you can come to an upright seat, you can sit on a block, that's fine. If you are on a block, just perch on the edge. Don't sit the whole of your hips onto the block. And then we're going to bring the soles of our feet together and allow the knees to drop out to the side. So use your fingers to just interlace around the tops of your toes. And think about your spine. We want a nice upright spine here. So engage in your tummy muscles, drawing some length into that spine. Imagine I'm pulling you up from the crown of your head. And as you breathe in, send the breath all the way down to your pelvis, all the way down to those inner groins. And as you breathe out, maybe your knees will drop a little wider to the side. So just check in with that back. We don't want to be hunching over. It's better to keep your knees in a higher position and keep the length in that spine. So this position is really good for grounding. You should feel really connected to the mat. So our very base chakra, our root chakra, or our orbs, as we talked about them the other week, is right at the base of the spine. So we're connecting that, that energy center to the ground. And when we talk about our root chakra, this is what is responsible for making us feel balanced, so secure and grounded and energetic. And if it's out of balance, this is when we can feel anxious or insecure or have low self-esteem. So grounding, just taking some time to ourselves to feel grounded. Really good for our mind and our body. So take a few more breaths here. Just allowing the knees to drop towards the mat with each exhalation. And then help your knees back together with your arms. And then we're going to come into the 90-90 position. So taking your hands just behind you to the sides. Drop your knees over towards the left-hand side. So do it so that your left sole of the foot is just resting against the right knee. So if you think about the Isle of Man flag with those 3 legs, but we've only got 2 here, this is the image that we're trying to recreate, or we call it 90-90 because of the angle of the knees. So send the feet out a little bit further away to try and increase that angle. And use your hands to help your back to come up to that upright position. So we're still breathing down into our pelvis. And as you breathe out, just allow those knees to drop down into the mat. And just check, are you creating tension in your shoulders? So find some length through the head, the neck, and just allow the shoulders to drop down. And then on your next inhalation, just start to lift the knees, rolling over onto the soles of the feet. So keeping the feet exactly where they are, and then drop them to the right-hand side. So they should match now. The sole of the right foot should come to the left knee. You might just need to reposition your hands a little bit to get yourself back into that upright position. Keep breathing. Allow the knees to drop to the mat. In your 90-90. And see if you can keep the hips in contact with the mat as well. So it will be tempting to lift your left hip away from the mat here. So try and focus with your exhalation to send that hip down to the mat. And then on your next inhalation, bring yourself back upright. And now take your soles of your feet back together. Come back into Baddha Konasana. Does it feel any different? Can we allow our knees to drop just a little bit wider? Okay, gently help your knees to come back together and take yourself down on the mat into semi-supine. So resting your back on the mat, knees are bent. Take your hands out wide in a T shape. Breathing in. As you breathe out, just allow both knees to drop towards the right-hand side. So you're creating that twist in the spine, just easing out through the hips. Inhale back to center. Exhale over to the left. Keeping your shoulders in contact with the mat. Inhale back to center. Once more to the right. Inhale back to center. Over to the left. Inhale back to center. And exhale, just allow yourself to rest down into the mat. So take your feet hip distance apart and really plant the soles of the feet into the mat and check in with that lower back. So allow the lower back to drop towards the mat. So don't force it, just let it find that neutral position. And then engage in your tummy muscles. As you inhale, bring your right knee towards your chest and send the foot out in front of you, but have an active foot. So you've just floated that knee up into that bent position. So take your hands to your right upper leg. So just holding your hands around your thigh. And just imagine that you're going to turn that upper thigh. So you're turning the thigh bone in the hip socket. So breathing in, send the foot around towards your left knee. So nothing else is moving, you're just turning that thigh. Breathing out, send the foot out to the right-hand side. So it's as if you're just grabbing hold of that femur, the thigh bone, and turning it in the socket. Inhaling as you twist it around towards the left knee. Exhaling as you send it out towards the right hand side. Once more on this side. Keep your tummy muscles engaged, keep the back flat on the floor. Send the foot out to the right. Bring it back to center. And then plant the right foot down on the mat. So just observing, does the right hip feel a little bit more activated? So on your next inhalation, lift the left knee up towards your chest and then send the foot out. So the foot is active as if you're pressing against the wall. Take your hands to the left thigh. We're going to do the same thing here. Inhaling, twisting that thigh so that the left heel comes towards the right knee. Exhaling, sending it out to the side. Just have a little check for inhaling and twisting. Exhaling, sending it out. That's it. The only thing that's moving is that lower leg. You're doing it with control. Well done. And then once you've done your 3, just bring yourself back to the center, leg down into semi-supine. And then hug your knees into your chest and just have a little massage of the back and the hips, left and right, back and forth. And then you can take your hands to the backs of your thighs and start to roll. So gently rolling all along the length of the spine. Until you come up to an upright position. And if you cross your feet in front of you and just send your weight forward, hands to the mat, lift yourself up. You're in Uttanasana, forward fold. Everybody manage that? Or just come up to Uttanasana. So your hands are down into the mat, have a little bend in your knees and drop the top of the head towards the floor. So if you bend your knees, you can really feel that opening in the spine as you send your hips up to the ceiling. Keep breathing. And then on your next inhalation, slide your hands up to your shins, create that half forward fold. Inhale, exhale, slide your hands back to the mat, dropping the head towards the mat. So have a bend in your knees so that you can plant your hands. Take a breath in, and as you exhale, step the one foot back and then the other foot. You're in plank. So taking a breath here in plank. Find that strength in your shoulders, so don't sink down, open through the backs of the shoulders. Inhale, send your hips up to the ceiling, downward facing dog. Take a breath here. Inhale. As you exhale, shift back into plank. So find your position of your hands and your feet so that you can keep them exactly where they are to shift between the two. Inhale, exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, shifting forward into plank. Exhale. 20 more. I'm joking. Inhale. Send your hips up to the ceiling. Exhale, inhale, shifting forward. So gently does it. Just try and find some fluidity in this movement. Inhale, and you can always come down to your knees if this is too much. So plank on your knees. Last one, inhale, exhale, coming into plank. Inhale, exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, exhale, take your knees to the mat. Slide your body out along the mat and take your hands down into crocodile. So place one hand on top of the other, elbows to the side, rest your forehead and drop your heels in towards each other. Just take a moment in crocodile. And then on your next inhalation, bring yourself up to an all fours position. So from our all fours, taking a breath in here. As you exhale, just step your right foot in between your hands. So have your hands just inside of the foot now. Move your right hand to inside your right foot and just ease the hips forward and back. So just a nice gentle movement. Reaching the right knee forward and then sending the right hip back. So we're getting a stretch through the hamstrings and through the psoas muscle on the opposite leg as we ease in and out. So this is lizard pose. And then bring yourself back into an upright position. So your right knee is above your right heel. Plant your left hand down into the mat. Inhale and reach your right hand up to the ceiling. Reaching away, stacking those hands one on top of the other. Exhale, take your hand back to the mat. Back to inside the right foot. Inhale, reaching up once more. Exhale down. So let's try that once more with a variation. Inhale and reach. And this time, as you exhale, can you bend your right knee, bringing the foot, sorry, the left, this is the left knee, bringing the foot up and try and catch hold of the foot. So this is a good preparation to get us into our dancer pose. And open through the chest, look over your right shoulder. That's it, well done. Inhale, reach the hand up and overhead, releasing it back to the mat. Exhale, release that right knee. Just have a little wiggle through the hips. And we're going to do the same on the other side. So finding your all fours, really grounding those hands into the mat, engaging the tummy muscles. Inhale, exhale, step the left foot forward. Taking your hands to the inside of the left foot, just easing forward and back as you inhale and exhale. Sending the left knee forward of the left toes, which is something we don't normally do. But as you do this, you'll find that lovely stretch through the hamstring and also the right psoas muscle, which comes at the front of the right leg. Easing in and easing out. And then plant your right hand into the mat. I'll try and get my right and my left right this time. So inhale, send your left hand up to the ceiling. Your gaze follows that hand, opening through the left, through the chest. Exhale the hand back to the mat. Inhale, reaching up. Exhale back. Last time, inhale, reaching up. So we can add on that little extra, or you can just stay like this. Inhale, reach your right foot up, your left hand back to meet it. And just open up through the front of the chest. Find that twist. Plant the right hand solidly into the mat. And then as you exhale, take your hands back to the mat. Release your left foot back to that all fours position. Just have a little wiggle. Easing out. And then plant your toes into the mat. Exhale, coming up to downward facing dog. Just send one heel and the other down to the mat. Easing out those hamstrings. Just walk in the dog. And then slowly walking your hands back towards your feet. Back to Uttanasana, forward fold. Drop your head towards the mat. Send the hips up to the ceiling. Lovely stretch to the backs of the legs. And then inhaling and slowly, slowly, slowly bring yourself up to Tadasana. Hands to the heart center. So we're going to try our balances now. So standing straight and tall, have your feet hip distance apart and spread the toes wide on the mat. So really feel that connection with the mat. Shoulders are down and relaxed. There's a softness in the knees. So as you inhale, send your weight into your left foot and just exhale the right foot out in front of you and just rotate through the ankle. Sending the ankle in that circular motion. Now, this is a balance, and this might be a challenge in itself. So if you want to stand by a wall or by a chair, just send your circles in the opposite direction. Keep your tummy muscles engaged. That'll help to keep you upright. So all these balancing moves are really good for our bone health. Place your foot back on the mat. So inhale, send the weight into the right foot. Exhale, send the foot away. Rotate the ankle, so the left ankle this time. Shoulders down and relaxed, so don't create tension anywhere. As you breathe out, feel as though you're dropping that weight of the body down into the mat. Really grounding into the mat. And then change the direction of your circles. And then place your foot down. Well done. So I'll just turn sideways for this one. So standing up straight and tall, we're going to come into our flamingo. So as you breathe in, bring your hands to the heart center. Breathing out, dropping all that weight down into the soles of your feet. Inhale, lift your right knee. So lift it up as high as you can. And as you exhale, can you place your right foot on your left thigh, just above the left knee? Breathing in, find your drishti, your point of focus. And as you exhale, sit back into an imaginary chair. So keep that right foot just lightly on the left leg. We're not pressing against the knee. Keep breathing, tummy muscles engaged. If you want to add a little challenge, inhale, exhale the hands out in front of you. Inhale, reach them up above your head. Exhale, send them out wide, like wings of the flamingo. Lost my balance. Inhale, bring them back to the heart center. Exhale, send them out. Inhale them up. Exhale them wide. Inhale them back to the center. You're all looking fabulous. One more, inhale, reaching out, reaching up, reaching wide, back to the center. Release your leg. Just have a little wiggle with the legs. And try the same on the other side. Remembering that we're quite different on each side. So the left side might not be anywhere near as balanced, or it might be loads better. Let's see. So hands to the heart center, shoulders down and relaxed, tummy muscles engaged. Inhale, send your weight into your right foot. Exhale this left leg up. Find your drishti. Place your left foot on your right thigh, not on the knee, just above the knee. Exhale as you sit back into your imaginary chair. So flamingo pose. Inhale, reach your hands out in front of you. Exhale, reaching your hands up and out like the wings of a flamingo. Squeeze your shoulder blades together. Inhale back to the heart center. So do these moves, inhaling, exhaling out. Inhaling up, exhaling wide. Flapping wings of a flamingo. Well done, everybody. All doing brilliantly. And then take your foot back to the mat. So let's get to our peak pose. So you might want a strap for this, but we'll try it without first of all, and then you can decide. So we're going to stand, I'll do it sideways. So we're going to come into tree pose to start with. So standing up straight and tall. Let your shoulders relax. Find the connection with the soles of your feet. Inhale as you lift your right heel and just place it on your left foot. So your right knee is dropping out to the side, starting to open out through this hip. Find your drishti. Inhale as you slide your right foot up your leg. So below the knee or above the knee. Hands to the heart center. So find some balance here in tree. Keep breathing. Keep those shoulders relaxed. Tummy muscles engaged. So with your right leg still lifted up and away from the floor. Inhale and release that right knee to in front of you. Toes are pointing down. And as you exhale, starting to tip the upper body just slightly forward, send the right leg behind you. Reaching back with your right hand to the right foot. And then once you're balanced, release your left hand up in front and bring your first finger and your thumb together and reach the other fingers out in front of you. Dancer pose. Reach in, so feel as though you're pressing the toes of your right foot into your right hand, and you're also trying to pull the toes back towards you. So there's some tension in that leg. Reaching away. Exhale, release the foot. Well done. I'm going to watch you do the other side. So we're going to start with our tree. So stand up straight and tall. Really ground the feet into the mat. Shoulders down and relaxed. Inhale, lift the left foot. The left heel goes onto the right soles of the foot. Bring your hands together to the heart center. So this might be it for your tree. Or with your next inhalation, sliding the foot up to below the knee or above the knee. Help it up if you need to. That's it, well done. So remember to keep that long, straight spine, tummy muscles engaged. So standing up straight and tall. Find your drishti. Inhale, release the foot so that the knee is bent out in front of you. So try not to take it down to the mat. And as you exhale, just sending the foot behind you, gently tipping forward. Release the left hand to catch hold of the left foot. The right hand goes out in front of you, first finger and thumb touching, reaching the fingers away. Well done. So see if you can send that foot away from the body. Can you reach the foot anywhere further away from your hips? So just sending it back. That's it. Lifting the knee slightly. Brilliant. Well done, everybody. Keep breathing. That's the important thing. And then release your hand. Release your foot. Hands to the heart center. So standing up straight and tall. Just feel the connection with the earth and the soles of the feet. How grounded do you feel? How good is it to have both feet on the floor? Well done. So just release your hands alongside your hips. Inhale as you reach them up. Exhale as you sit back into an imaginary chair. Bringing the palms together. Inhale. Exhale, twisting around to the right. Take your left elbow to your right thigh. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale, release your hands forward. Exhale, come back to standing. Let's do the same on the other side. Inhale, releasing the hands, bringing them together. Exhaling as you sink down, twisting to the left. So the knees are together and a forward of your toes. Try not to twist through the hips. You're keeping the hips forward. The twist is all happening in the upper back and the chest. Inhale, exhale. This time release your hands to the mat and slowly bring yourself down to the mat, coming back to semi-supine. Lying out on the mat. Take your hands out wide, palms facing down. Just allow your back to drop into the mat. Find that neutral spine. Inhale and lift your hips and plant them over towards the right side of your mat. As you exhale, drop the knees to the left. Take your gaze to your right hand. Enjoy this twist. Breathing in through the right side of the body. Feel that opening all the way from the right hip up to the underarm area. Breathing in, breathing out, allowing your shoulders to rest into the mat. On your next inhalation, bring your head back to center, bring your knees back to center and lift your hips, placing them into the center of the mat. Just take a breath here. Excuse me. Inhale. As you exhale, lift your hips and place them towards the left side of the mat. And then drop your knees over towards the right. Taking your gaze to your left hand. Breathing in through the left side of the body. Feeling that opening. Just allowing your shoulders to drop down into the mat. Allowing the knees to drop to the right hand side. On your next inhalation, bring your head back to center. Bring your knees back to center and place your hips back into the center of the mat. And then inhale and bring your knees up and over your chest, just hugging them in tight. Have a little roll. And then slide your hands in between your knees and hold onto your ankles or the soles of your feet or your trousers, whatever you can get hold of. And as you exhale, try and drop your knees into your armpits. Imagine that the soles of the feet are trying to press on the ceiling. So we're coming into happy baby pose here. Soles of the feet pressing up to the ceiling, knees dropping down into the armpits. And just have a little rock from side to side. Just enjoy happy baby. And then releasing your feet, releasing your hands, send your legs out along the mat. We're coming into Shavasana, so if you want to grab a blanket or a layer, just have a few minutes in our Shavasana, relaxing down into the mat. So lying out on the mat, have your hands just gently away from the body in a V shape, palms facing up. Have your feet slightly wider than hip distance apart, and let your toes drop out to the side. With each exhalation, just allow the whole of your spine to rest into the mat. Feel that connection from the back of the head all the way down, from the shoulders down to the base of the spine. Feel the backs of the legs resting down into the mat, all the way down to the heels. Using your exhalation to sink you deeper into the mat. Letting go of any tension. Releasing the muscles on your face, your forehead, in your jaw, your neck, your shoulders. Releasing your arms down into the mat. Let them feel heavy and relaxed. Releasing your spine, vertebra by vertebra. And your pelvis, your hips, your legs, your knees, your ankles, and your feet. With each exhalation, just let go. Just allow these few moments for yourself before you start your day. Starting to bring some awareness back into your body now. Wiggling your fingers and your toes. Rotate your wrists and your ankles. And on your next inhalation, reach your arms up and overhead to a full body stretch, pointing from your fingers to your toes. And as you exhale, just allow your arms to rest on the mat behind you. Inhale and bend your knees, place your feet flat on the floor. And as you exhale, roll over onto your right hand side, resting your head on your outstretched arm. And just bringing your knees up closer to your chest, giving yourself a kutch. When you're ready, gently blinking your eyes open. Bring yourself back up to seated. Everyone okay? Good. So taking your hands out wide, we'll finish with our 3 breaths together. Inhale, reaching up, palms come together. Exhale to the heart center. Inhale, out wide, reaching up. Exhale. Once more, inhale. Exhale. Namaste. Thank you, everyone.